Okay guys, let's start the SSRS training sessions. And this, as you all know, SSRS is just one tool in Microsoft BI. Okay. You guys know that Microsoft BI technology, right? It's a data warehousing technology from Microsoft parent. And if you take MSBI, I can't write it but in a more better than this. Please adjust. This is MSBI. If you take this MSBI, you will have three tools. SSIS, sorry, that is SSIS. Let me take different pen than this one. Next one is SSAS and the third one is SSRS. So in these sessions we are going to discuss only about SSRS. Okay, and why this SSRS is required. What is the use of SSRS and what is MSBI and what the remaining two tools will be doing. Okay, what these two will be doing, including SSRS, and which tool is having good demand. All these questions will be there in your mind when you start learning this technology. So let me clear it out. Demand wise, all the three tools have equal importance. Okay, SSAS has equal importance compared to SSRS and SSIS. So all the three tools are having equal importance. Now let me give you a simple example where this each and every tool fits. Based on that you can decide, okay, which tool is better to go with and so on. So first of all, this MSBI, let's start with how this MSBI started and how the projects will be done on MSBI technology. So MSBI, it purely deals with data. If you have data, then I can create an MSBI project. What is meant by data? Data, anything that is well organized, stored in an organized manner, we call it as data. Let's take any one business. There were so many business. If you take the business before 2000, year 2000 or 1995, there was no much sales in the world. It was like hardly some XYZ amount sales. Now if you see, it will be almost 100 times or 200 times and even more than that. So every business is improving like anything. There was a fantastic improvement in every business. So obviously everyone is spending a lot of time in storing the transactions that's being happened. How many of you guys are aware of bank account when you were in 6th class or 7th class? Or let's say 10th class, 10th standard. How many of you guys are aware of them? Were aware of them? Hardly I can find one or two names. I'm going for a guess here. So now everyone is having bank account. Everyone is having multiple bank accounts. Why? Because I have few offers here and I have few offers there. In the same way, before 2000 and so on, there was no mobile. At least you guys were not aware of mobile, right? Before 1998 or 97 and so on. Now everyone is having 3 to 4 SIMs, dual SIM, 4 SIM mobiles. So everything, if you take every business, is getting improved drastically. It's a fantastic improvement in every business. If you take any business, even pizza corner business, even shopping mall, let's take real estate, or let's take banking, let's take a pharmacy. Every business, when you were in your school age, if you are suffering from fever, just one paracetamol was the tablet you were very well aware of, right? But now if you go to the hospital, you will get tablets worth of 1,000 or 2,000 bucks. Why? Because people are getting money to spend, and that's why they are giving. So either directly or indirectly, every business is getting improved. Every business is getting improved is directly proportional to the amount of transactions that are getting increased. What is meant by transaction? If I'm running a business, let's say I'm running a supermarket. So if any customer buys a soap, that's a transaction to me. If any customer buys powder or paste something, that's a transaction to me. So transaction is nothing but which will store all the transactional information or all the sales. If I take a supermarket business or units of pharmacy sold. If I take pharma business, so transactions is nothing but it directly says how the business is going on. And if you take banking, how much bank account, how many transactions he has made in last 1 month, that says how the business is going, banking business, and how the customer transactions are going on. So every transaction they are capturing. If you call your bank customer care of the bank that you are having account with, and if you ask, okay, what are all the transactions I have made in last month, and if they says I don't have that information with me, what will be your response? Obviously you'll shout at them. Why? Because it's their job to maintain all the transactions. So imagine one banking, let's say JP Morgan or let's say Bank of America. There will be millions of customers. And every day there will be some, on an average, 5 to 10 transactions per customer. How much data is getting stored? The data, it's like huge. Let's take a simple calculation. I hope everyone is aware of Airtel network in India. Don't say no, please. Most of you, I mean all of you guys are from India, right? So let's take Airtel. Okay. If you take Airtel, in total in India, there will be something around 1 crore customers, a minimum of, right? And on an average, everyone will be making at least 2 transactions. On an average, the minimum I'm taking into 2. So that means 2 crore transactions per day. Transaction is nothing but it's a table in your database where they will be maintaining all the information about from where you called, to whom you called, how many minutes you spoke, and how much they charged, and so on. That is a transaction. So if you have 2 crore transactions per day, imagine how many records will be there in the table for 2 years. 2 years means 365 into 2, that will be something around 720, right? So these many transactions are happening just with Airtel network provider for 2 years, assuming a maximum of 2, on an average of 2 transactions are being made by the customers, and also Airtel is having only 1 crore of customers, right? See how many transaction records, how they are going to store this, how they are going to make use of this. So if they want to store 10 years data of all the customers, it will be like hell. They need in terabytes, right? So now this MSBI will help any business to analyze how it is going. It deals with the data. It takes all the data and it deals with the data. Let me take an example here. Before that, let me erase this guy. This is new version of GoToMeeting, and the drawings will not be erased automatically. We have to erase it. Let me erase it. And let me take an example from scratch so that you will get clear picture. Let's say I'm the owner of Airtel, okay, and I'll be storing the data in the database. If let's say Divya made a call to Rupesh, so the transaction will be recorded in the database. In the same way, all the transactions will be recorded in the databases. Now, what we call it as? We call it as database. Okay, and in database, if you always observe, let's take a banking site. If you have any bank account, I mean any Indian bank account, go to that and try to get last 1 year transactions from your account. Can you get that? Actually speaking, you can't get that. You can get for last 1 month or 2 months or hardly 3 months. After that, if you want for more, then you have to raise a request and the bank statement will be mailed to you through email. So this is how it happens in the banking sites. Why? Because They can't maintain all the data, all the complete data in the database. As I told you, if you have all the data in your data, maintaining in the database, let's say this is your database where they're pushing all the data, all the transactions of all the customers. Then if I want to query something, let's say Rupesh is making some deposit into his account, then if I want to query his transactions, then it will take half an hour to get the result. So the database size will grow like anything. So what they will do is, for every 1 month or for every 2 months or for every 3 months, they will move all the historical data, all the old data to the data warehouse, to another database which they don't touch frequently. Okay, this is a database where they will be where the transactions will be happening. Okay, and this is called as data warehouse, where all the historical data will be moved to. Okay, now this will be easy to query. There will be hardly 1 crore records or 10 crore records in this database, and it will be easy for them to query. But if you see this, there will be some billions and billions of records. So they will be moving all the data, and they will store only 3 months information or 2 months information in the database, and the remaining will be moved to, or we call it as archiving of data. So they will be moving it to either another database, or in any files. They will be storing the data in the form of files. When you send a request for last 6 months bank statement, what they will do is they will not search here. They will go to this archive, or they will go to the data warehouse, query and get the data. They know it will take time to query and get that information. That's why they will send them information through mail. So this is a routine process in any business. Why they don't store the data in the database? That is the important point here. Let's say I have an application. This is my application, okay, which inserts data and updates data and deletes the data. And this application is running on the database, which will maintain all the transactions. If this transaction database is continuously growing and it become like 500 GB or 1000 GB in size, and if you see the transactional data, if it is going like billions and billions, so for every insert, delete or update, I have to query this database, and the performance will be very big hit. So what people will do is, they will set some interval, like, okay, let's keep only last 2 months information here and push the remaining data into the data warehouse. Okay, so either 1 month or 2 months, it depends on how much data is flowing into the database per day or per month. Okay, and they'll be moving all the data into the data warehouse. We call it as data warehouse, and this application will talk only with this database, and reporting part will talk with this database. Why? Because to see how the history was, what was the data, how many transactions happened on, so in last 1 year or last 2 years and so on. So this is just to keep the application performance in a good shape. If you maintain all the data in the same database, the application will go for a toss. The performance of the application will go for a toss. If you try to see that, whatever people, if you try to deposit some amount, what bank guys will do is first they will check their account status. To check the account status itself, if it queries the data where you have all the data, all the information, then it will take a lot of time, like 30 to 40 minutes. Imagine one deposit taking 30 minutes. Is it a possible scenario? In a country like India, it's not, obviously. So what they will do is frequently, very frequently, they will be moving, they will move all the historical data into another database, and we will call it as data warehouse. So, and this job is taken care by SSIS, the first tool in the MSBI. So SSIS, what it will do is it will move the data from one database to another database, or multiple database to one single destination database. It all how you configure the SSIS project. So once this is created, let's say you have data warehouse. You are moving the data from the database to the data warehouse just because the performance was not good, right? Here the performance will go for a toss. That's why you are moving all the data to the data warehouse. What about the performance here? If you query it, will it be good? It will be again the same problem, the performance problem. If you have billions and billions of records, and if you try to return a query, select star from table name where guys who has little knowledge on SQL Server, don't worry much about the queries that I am telling here. Select star from table name where customer name is equal to Rupesh, then it will take 2 days to return the data. It will take a lot of time. You can go for lunch and you can go for snacks in the evening and you can come back by the time the data will be retrieved. So the performance is a big hit. So we have another tool, SSAS, okay, which will be used here, SSAS, to convert this data warehouse into a OLAP database. In other words, SSAS database, in other words, we call it as Cube database. So the data warehouse will be converted into OLAP database, and the performance of the OLAP database will be super good compared to the data warehouse performance. So this is mainly to improve the performance. The SSAS project is mainly used to improve the performance. Whenever you have huge data and whenever you need to improve the performance, if your report is taking hours to generate, then you can inject this SSAS project layer to improve the performance. So once the OLAP is ready, I cannot ask users to access this OLAP to see the reports, right, to see the data. So there is one more layer, that is SSRS layer, where if you come into picture, SSRS will come into picture and this guy will generate reports. As I told you, this is OLAP database. If I ask user, man, can you learn this database to see the report, then he will fire me on the next moment. Why? Because he is paying me some thousands and thousands of dollars just to get the information that he is looking for, right? And if I ask him to learn a database technology, then why they need me? So this SSRS tool helps in designing the reports. You can design the reports and users will be accessing the reports. Report is the easiest way of representing the data, easiest way of providing the information that business is looking for. Okay, if you provide a report, they can easily generate. They know it will be pure English. Select country. If there will be all the countries listed. If you select India and select state, all the states will be listed that belongs to India. If you select, let's say Mumbai is a state, right? Maharashtra, sorry. If they select Maharashtra and click on view report, the report will be generated. That means they know the report that is generated is for the sales of the Maharashtra state in country India. So this is the easiest way of providing the information that is asked by and no need to give any training, right? Users can directly go into that URL and get the report if they can. If they know English, that is more than enough, the basic English. They can easily generate and see the required information that he is looking for. So that is why I said these guys will be working in the back end. No one knows what he is doing. And even this guy will be working in the back end. He will not be visible to the business. But this guy's work, his reports will be directly used by the business, and that is why always these guys is the one who will be getting appreciations from the business. So in this way, the three tools will be used from starting of the project to the end of the project. If you use all these three tools, that is nothing but you have done a Microsoft Business Intelligence project, complete Microsoft Business Intelligence project. And the good thing about these three tools is these are independent. Let's say you know SSIS, I know SSIS, and the other one knows SSRS. We three can sit together and work on a project. It's not like a person who is working on SSRS need to know SSIS and SSIS. In the same way, the person who is working on SSIS need not to know that SSIS and the SSRS. But while giving interviews, all the people who are taking interviews knows that the person who is giving interview will be stationed for any one of these tools, but they will test in all the three skill sets. That is just for time pass. if I take an interview and if I know that person that I'm taking interview is required for SSRS, I have to ask questions from SSRS, right? If I ask him on SSIS, how it is going to get benefit, how I'm going to get benefited with that. But still nowadays people are asking questions from all the three tools, so it's always good to have knowledge on all the three tools. Now let's see a different example where multiple data sources are involved for the same. Let's say I generally take pharmacy example, but let me try to take a different example, okay? You know, there are some companies which deals with the advertisements. Like they will conduct a survey and they will find out which is the best advertisement of the year and shortest and most message oriented and so on. So what their job is collecting the information of all the advertisements played and which one got demand. Vodafone Juju's got an award for best advertisement, okay? So their job is to collect all the advertisements, right? All the advertisements that are played in the world, right? Let's say this task is taken, let's say a group of people started working on this. First group is working on all the advertisements that are played in US. Okay, they will take all the advertisements. Let's say they are maintaining all the information in Excel, and the other set of people who is collecting the data from data of all the advertisements played in London or UK, they are maintaining data in SQL Server. And the rest APAC region, Asia Pacific region, like India, Bangladesh, Philippines, and so on, Pakistan, all these countries information, let's say these guys are maintaining in a notepad. Okay, it's not mandatory that everyone should follow the same database, right? They can store, that's just an information. They can store in any format. And finally, Latin America region in some different kind of database. So if I have data in four different, if all these four guys sit together to analyze and finalize what is the best advertisement of the year or of the decade, something like that. So how can they do that? They can't merge all these four, right? This is in Excel, and this is in SQL Server, and this is in Notepad, and this is in Oracle. These are four different types of databases where you can store the data. Now, if you have a tool which can help to move all the data from different sources in the sense, different source for data. This is one source, and this is one source, and this is one source, and this is one source. So if you have a tool which can help in moving the data from different sources to one destination, will it help these guys? Let's say I'm moving all the advertisements here using a tool, and the tool that is helpful for achieving this job is SSIS. So SSIS, in short, it is used to move the data from different sources to one destination, and we call this destination as data warehouse, where we are maintaining all the historical information. Now, if this data warehouse is small, I'm highlighting if the data warehouse is small in the sense it has only thousands of records, then do you need SSAS? SSAS is mainly meant for performance, right? If the data warehouse is pretty huge, like it has some millions and millions of records or billions of records, then it will take a lot of time if I query any select statement. If I write a select statement and if it is pretty big one on this data warehouse, then it will take 1 hour, 2 hours, or 10 hours, depends on the data that is present. If it is pretty small, if I write the same select statement, it will take just 2 to 3 seconds, right? If it is pretty small. So when the data warehouse, which is the output of SSIS, okay, is having very less data, then you don't need SSAS layer. If the data warehouse is huge, then you need SSAS layer, which will improve the performance of this data warehouse. Here SSAS, and it will convert it to OLAP. So which will be super fast compared to the querying of data warehouse. So if it is not if it is not big data warehouse, then you don't need it at all. This is not required. Directly you can use this database or data warehouse to generate your SSRS reports. The condition is it should be pretty small. It should be good in performance. If it is small, the performance will be good. Then obviously you can directly use data warehouse data to generate the reports. Or in the other case, if the data warehouse is pretty big, then you need to inject a layer, SSRS layer, which will improve the performance, and the output of this one will be used in SSRS reports. So if you see, I can use only SSIS and SSRS to finish one project if the data that is getting collected is pretty less, right? Or I can use all the three. It depends on the requirement, and it depends on how much data it is being it's getting added to the database. If you say the big database, it's mainly not based on the GD or based on the size. It's based on the biggest table in the database. The biggest table is always transaction tables, and if the transaction table is having more than 50 crore of records, then we call it as little big database. The transaction table is having a minimum of 50 crore records, then we can say it's a little big database compared to the other, right? If the transaction table or the biggest table in the database is having 2000 crore records, 3000 crore records, then we call it as huge database. When the database maximum transaction table size crosses something around 5 to 6 crores, then you can go for SSRS layer. That will really help in improving the performance. Now here the SSRS sits. If this is a database, I cannot ask users to use this, and this is a database. If the performance is low, then I can convert it into OLAP database. This is again a database. I cannot ask users to work on it or use it. So ultimately, users need some interactive UI where they can see the information. Okay, this is data, and this is data, but sorry, the last one is information. The difference between data and information is data will not be in readable format, or it's very difficult to analyze by seeing the data, whereas information is, if you ask me who won the match, if I say India won the match, that's an information that you are looking for. And if any business guy comes to me and asks me like what is the sales for a particular product, if I say that it is $20,000 today, then that's the information that he is looking for. So using SSRS reports, he can find that, he can get that information without knowing any tool or any technology. It's just a report. You know how the report looks, right? So this is just a report, and every user can easily understand or easily get that information what he is looking for. So all these three tools will form MSBI, and all these three are independent. If you are good or if you are master in any one tool, then you can strongly say that I am super good in this tool, and I just want to stick to the same tool, and if they have openings, they will take you in. It is not mandatory to learn all the three, and at the same time, if you have all the three, always the better, you will be the best option for the guys who is taking interview. If I go with only good, if I have only knowledge on SSRS, and if other guy is having SSIS, and you have a knowledge on all the three, then you are the best pick for those guys, right? Nowadays, people are learning all the three. Not learning completely, at least they are getting basic knowledge. So this is about MSBI and where it fits. So if you observe from start to end, this is the starting point, right? Which is the source for SSIS project, and this is the ending point. We're dealing with only data. So we deal with only data, nothing else. So that is why as long as the data is getting added to the databases for different business, for various businesses, then MSBI will be on demand. Till then MSBI will be on demand, right? And the rate at which the data is getting added to the databases is huge. I'm telling you, it's huge. I'll give you a simple example. Let's say X is the data that is captured till 2009. Okay, X is the data that is captured. X is the value. Let's assume X is the value that is the amount of data captured till 2009. And in 2010 alone, I'm saying 2010 alone, X into some 1,000 times got added. Can you imagine? This X is till 2009. Like from the day people started adding, storing data or capturing data, like 1800s and 1800 or so, from when. So all the data, if you see in 2010 alone, it added some 1,000 times or even more than that. In 2011, even this one got doubled. And the data is getting increased. And I recently attended a seminar about the databases and MSBI. It was an awesome seminar by Microsoft guys. And they were worried about that there may be a chance of data burst. Data will get burst in the sense there will be no tool available to handle the data. There will be no tool available to handle such a huge data. So people are worrying about that. And if you see the version to version of Microsoft BI or even Cognos or Informatica, they are mainly concentrating on handling huge data. That is the key concentration of every technology guys, like Microsoft, Oracle, and everyone is concentrating on huge. And let's take a Facebook. Facebook started in 2005. I don't remember exactly, somewhere around 2005, but it became famous from last 3 years or 4 years hardly. In those 4 years, how many people are having accounts and how many likes? Each and every like is a transaction. Each and every comment is a transaction. Each and every sharing is a transaction. And you can imagine how much of data is getting added per day. All the account guys, okay, if they log in once, just log in and log out. That is 2 transactions. One transaction saying that Rupesh logged in on so and so time. Another transaction says that Rupesh logged out at so and so time. And you can imagine how many, some billion of, how many users are there in Facebook? Let's say 1 billion users. There will be 2 billion records just if everyone logs in and logs off in a day. And you can imagine how the data is growing and the data burst may occur. That's what people are all the technology guys are concentrating on. They are trying to find some solution to improve the performance. Now, if you see 2005, it was capable of hardly 50 crore records. Microsoft BI 2000, MSBI 2005 version, it was not able to handle more data, like more than 50 crore records. But 2008 was pretty good compared to 2005. It was handling good enough. Like 300, 400 crores it was processing, but it was taking a lot of time. 2008 R2 even better, and 2012 it's super good compared to the previous versions, earlier versions of MSBI. So always they're concentrating on the same task, right? Concentrating on how the performance of the data processing can be improved. And this is one side of Microsoft BI. All the tech tools involved, on which tool sits where, which tool is used for what, and so on. There is another one. If you ask me a question like, okay, why I have to do all this shit? Why I have to move all the data into one destination using SSIS and convert it into OLAP using SSAS and use the OLAP output in SSRS? what I'm going to do with historical information. If you see, all this is historical information, what I'm going to do with that? How it will be useful for a business guy? So business guy always should be analyzing their historical data. Let's say Orkut didn't do that, so it's gone, it's out of race now. And if you take any business, and if you observe, a lot of enhancements are coming in Facebook. Being number one in the world social networking sites, why it has to go for a lot of enhancements? Because to sustain in the market. So always they will keep an eye on the historical database. Let's say I am running supermarket XYZ and you are running supermarket ABC. Okay, and I have good amount of customers, like 90 to 10 ratio. I have 90 customers among 100, and you are having only 10 customers, remaining 10. And if I feel that okay, I am leading and I am in good position, and if I ignore and if I don't bother about what's happening and what offers you are giving, then the customers will slowly decrease for me. If you introduce an offer saying that okay, if you buy for 200 rupees or $100, then you will get a gift card worth $20, something like that. If you introduce some offers, this 90 to 10 ratio will become 50 to 50 in very short period of time before I realize. By the time I realize, it will be 10 to 90. Mine will be 10 and yours will be 90. So always people has to keep an eye on the market. What others are doing, what your competitors are doing, and what you are doing. If I'm doing good in a particular region or in particular, let's say Bangalore. In Bangalore, I'm the number one pizza, or let's say supermarket, number one supermarket. Keeping that in mind, I should not forget, or I should not stop thinking about the remaining supermarket guys in Bangalore area. I have to keep an eye and I have to analyze what offers they are giving. How can I compensate? Let's say if Pizza Hut introduces any new product, then immediately with a slight name change and a slight flavor change, Domino's will introduce. Why? Because it should not lose the market, it should not lose the customers. So this competition will be always there. This is one way, this is one reason why they have to analyze the market. Always they have to keep an eye on their competitors and in their business also. Comparison should be always there. And sometimes we have to keep an eye, we have to analyze our own business. The example for this one is, let's say I'm running a supermarket, okay, and supermarket business, everything you can find everything there, and obviously in winter I don't order for cool drinks, right? Obviously in summer I will order more cool drinks. I'll quote for more cool drinks. Why? Because from the previous year analysis, I came to know that okay, last year summer cool drink sales was super, so I have to buy more. And this year, last year, the winter, the cool drink sales was pathetic, so I should not go for more order. It's just based on my business history, how it was. And if you take anything, any business, either it is a $10 business or $10 billion business, there will be a lot of analysis involved. And for that analysis purpose, you need the data. You need the data which is quick, which returns the result that you are looking for in fraction of seconds, and all the possibilities, whatever the way you want to see, it should be. If you need any information, it should be ready to give. So using this Microsoft BI, you can achieve that kind of databases, which will have all the information handy and which will give you the data in fraction of seconds. And if you take it, I told you $10 business. That is real. That's a fact. Do we need a rocket science to find out that Sunday the sales of chicken in India or anywhere will be very good? You don't need rocket science, but that's just an analysis. Analysis like, okay, customers used to eat chicken. They eat chicken on Sunday. That's a very well known fact. So based on that analysis part, they will order more goods for Sunday, right? So for every business if you take, and if I want to start a simple cool drink shop or any tea stall in any area, what I will do is, what is the radius or what is the diameter in which the next tea stall is available, and how many customers he is getting. If he is getting less customers, is it because the area is not a crowded one, or the area is a deserted one, or the taste in his particular shop is not good? So you will do all these calculations. These calculations are nothing but analysis. So how can you get answers to all these calculations? Just by seeing the history. So that is why all the history will be maintained, and it will be processed and stored in the most comfortable format, which will produce you the required information whenever you ask for it. And if you see Murali Vijay, he is a pathetic batsman in cricket, in Indian cricket. He is one of the worst, I can say. At least, I mean, I'm sorry if there is any fan for Murali Vijay. You can tell that easily by seeing his history, how he played for Team India. In the same way, you can say Suresh Raina is performing good, or Dhoni is the best captain, or something like that, or Ganguly is the super good captain. So all this information, before taking a particular person into a team, they will do a lot of analysis. It's not like just okay, lottery game. It's not like that. They will do a lot of analysis, and the output of that analysis is a team. So if you take any business or any action, any you will be seeing like so many offers in shopping malls. So it's just because of the competition giving by the other shopping malls. But what we think is, okay, this guy is giving offer, that's what we will think. But there will be a lot of analysis involved before giving any offers by any shopping mall or anything. And in the same way, if you see the pharma business, pharma guys, they don't go for offers. If you buy one paracetamol, I'll give two free. That's not an offer that I mean customers will be looking for. So that's not the best option to grab the pharma market. So they will analyze it, and how they will capture the market is, they will capture the doctors. If Bangalore area is having 1000 doctors, and if you can capture 800 doctors from them, and if you suggest all these guys, okay, if you suggest my tablet, I'll give 20% to you. The other guy is giving 15%, I'll give 20%. So obviously he will write your tablet, whatever the tablet that you are manufacturing, your company is manufacturing. So obviously the sales will be, it's like 80% of the sales will be your business, and 20% will be competitors. So every business have there will be some way to find out and how it is performing, how your business and how the competitor business is performing, and how to grab the market, how to catch the market, how to get good percentage in the market, right? So for all those stuff you need data, and this data was like 100 or 200 in olden days, in earlier days like 1990s. So it was easy to calculate by seeing, okay, 10 records, okay, this is so and so, so and so, okay, here it is good, and so on. But now it is 100 crore, 200 crore, 300 crore, and so on. So you can't do it by seeing the data. You can't analyze it by seeing the data. So at the end you need reports. You need some medium through which you can get the information in the most easiest way, right? Senior manager of any business can't hire a guy like me and take me wherever he is going, and Rupesh, I'm gonna see the market for Bangalore area for the year 2001, write a query. That is the most stupidity, right? So the best option is giving reports using which the user can use, the business people can use. So that is why this Microsoft BA, or any, if you take any data warehousing tool, it is having good demand. And compared to Oracle data warehousing and these guys, MSBI is having good market because this is brand. The first reason is Microsoft is a brand. And the second reason is you will find good support compared to the other things. And the third reason is most databases in the world are SQL Server. I mean, it occupied the market 60% or 40%. I mean, I don't know the market, but a lot of databases are SQL Server. And if you say Microsoft, it's a brand. And if you take an example, in India, if I say, "Hey, I bought a jeans for you and it cost 1200, they don't feel happy. Yeah, I bought a jeans for you and it is Pepe jeans and it costs 800. Oh, Pepe, super, good. Particularly with the girls, it's happened, right? If I go with some unbranded, not a great brand jeans or t-shirt which cost 5000, they don't care. If I go with Pepe logo or something like that, they'll say, wow, Pepe jeans or something else. I'm just giving an example. That is my favorite brand, that's why. Okay. So in the same way, Microsoft is a brand. People will think that, okay, I will get good support from the Microsoft. And no one thinks that they are charging for the support. If the Microsoft has to give support, you have to pay for the guy. It will be like 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs in India per day for one Microsoft guy giving support to your project. So this Microsoft SQL Server occupied the business, occupied the market. It has good share. And even Oracle guys and Teradata guys and all other databases which is not having their data warehousing tool, they are preferring Microsoft BI. Why? Because this Microsoft BI connects to any data source like Excel sheet or Notepad or SQL Server, Teradata, Oracle, whatever the data source is, it will give you the output. You can play with the data. It will give you an opportunity to play with the data. So that is why this Microsoft BI is having great demand, and we are going to discuss about SSRS training sessions from tomorrow, and it will be purely on SSRS reporting only. We are not going to discuss about all this stuff. And the guys who are new to SQL Server, I will be sharing extra videos for you guys, and you just go through the SQL Server parallelly. Okay, I'll try to explain in the same way without writing more complex queries for the first 3 to 4 days until you get familiar. And after that, hope I will catch up the speed and we will finish the complete SSRS training sessions in 15 days as planned. So that's it for today's session, and I'll catch you in tomorrow's session, and hope you will go through this video before coming to get good, at least to understand what is MSBI and where it fits and what we're going to discuss in these sessions. Thank you very guys. Have a good day.